April 15th, the date that looms over every American taxpayer like a shadow on the calendar. But have you ever wondered, why April 15th? Why not May 1st or March 31st? Why this specific date? Let's unravel the curious and somewhat ridiculous history of April 15th, and why it's probably time for a change. First off, yes, the April 15th deadline has been around a long time, over 60 years in fact, but here's the kicker, it's completely arbitrary. Congress made it official in 1955, before that the deadline was March 15th, and originally, March 1st. Back in 1955, the entire 1040 tax return, including deductions and credits, was just 4 pages long. 4. Own a business? Add 2 more pages. A farm? Add 4, that was it. The entire 1955 tax form library, just these: Form 1040, Schedule C for the self-employed, Schedule F for farmers, and Schedule SE for Social Security. Instructions, 16 pages today. Try over 110, and that's not even counting the extra forms. Let's rewind to 1913, when the 16th Amendment was ratified. The income tax was born with a promise: only the rich would pay. Sound familiar? At the time, only married couples making over $4,000 and single folks over $3,000 had to file. That kind of income made you top 1% material. For comparison, in 1923, a well-paid union worker earned about $2,600 a year. 2-income households? Not common. So, only 1% of Americans even filed taxes in those early decades. The original due date? March 1st, then March 15th. Why? To give people time to gather papers and, more importantly, to collect the money before the wealthy jetted off to summer homes or Europe. Now fast forward to 1955. The US government was, let's say, bloated after World War I, the Great Depression, and World War II. Spending was out of control. Debt was rising. Someone had to pay. Guess who? The middle class. By the mid-50s, more Americans earned enough to file taxes. The filing threshold dropped, but complexity went up. The 4-page form now required real math, confusing instructions, and, for many, professional help. So Congress said, let's move the deadline to April 15th, because Form 1040 had become too dang complicated. Yes, that was their actual reason. Behind the scenes, the IRS was drowning in paperwork. More returns meant more processing time, and late refunds were costing the government interest, so April 15th became the law of the land. But here's the question, why hasn't it changed in 60+ years? Today's 1040 is a beast. Most taxpayers don't get the info they need until early March, sometimes later. And yet the deadline is still mid-April. Why not educate filers on extensions, or even radical idea move the deadline? Let's put this in perspective. In 1939, the US tax code was 504 pages long. By 1955, 14,000 pages. By 2014, over 70,000 pages. Today, over 1 million words. That's more than the King James Bible, War and Peace, and the entire Harry Potter series combined. And here's a chart over a decade old showing the tax code's explosive growth. Spoiler alert, it's worse now. So here's the deal. April 15th made sense in 1955. It doesn't anymore. Common sense and fairness say, it's time for a change. Maybe June 15th has a nice ring to it. Until then, I'm here to remind you, extensions are your friend. They're easy to file, and they help prevent mistakes, fraud, and stress. So let's talk about it, let's educate, let's push for better policy. And if you learned something today, like, comment and share. Let's spread the word about April 15th, and why it's way past due for a change.